Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Carl, and welcome to the Wisconsin High School Esports Association Varsity League of Legends Division Number 1. It's week 8 of the regular season. That means it is the final week if you haven't been paying attention at home. This is an eight-week season. We'll have 2 weeks of playoffs here online before our in-person finals on June 3rd at Carthage College, just outside of Milwaukee. So that should be a lot of fun. I am hoping to be there. You will likely see me there if you do go. I am alone again today. Zombro, unfortunately, is away again, but hopefully we'll get him back in the booth sometime soon. Today we've got EAHS on the blue side, currently undefeated, 7-0 in the league so far. Correction, 6-0 in the league so far. They are going up against Case, League of Legends, who are currently 5-2. So EAHS had a bye somewhere in there. We won't fault them too much for that, but they've only played 6 games. Case has played 7, 5-2 on the red side, 6-0 here on the blue side. Once again, excited to see this game. We have a lot of tanks thus far from EAHS. Very tanky team, and they're going to go for the Draven, so we're going to see some interesting stuff. Dragon Vagar, 2 high damage carries, and 3 very tanky tanks, as it were. Nothing wrong with that. I actually like this composition so far. They have a lot of CC, a lot of peel to keep the Vagar safe, and not a ton of dive picked up thus far for Case, and that is going to be even less dive. They have almost no way to get into the backline. Kindred can't really get back there. The Aurelion Sol I don't hate. You can target the backline with the ultimate. Rakan mainly going to be the one that is jumping in to the backline, trying to take out those 2 carries, but this is a very much kill the carries, win the game, don't kill the carries, you probably don't win the game sort of situation. For Case, they need to take out the Draven, they need to take out the Vagar if they want to get themselves through this game. Otherwise, that front line should just stop up Kindred, Jinx, and Darius. There's a lot of physical damage coming through, especially if Aurelion Sol gets behind. This could go quite poorly for Case very quickly. Sejuani, Nautilus, Ornn, that front line, Thornmail, maybe going to come out, a Frozen Heart, some Jack Show, a lot of tankiness from these folks, and if Kindred and Jinx are not ahead, you will have a lot of time. Jinx, not the greatest tank killer in the world. Kindred does it a little bit better. Don't try to convince me that Kraken Slayer will help you kill the tanks, because it absolutely will not. That is not how that item works, usually. So, Jinx, if she gets ahead, if she can get to a Lord Dominic's regards, 4 or 5 items, you can cut through the tanks, get the reset, and rip through them. But that is not a guarantee in any way, shape, or form. You do need to actually get to that point. And we have not seen that yet. So, that, I think, is what will determine a lot of this game. Other than that, other interesting remarks. We've seen top lane be very impactful so far in the Wisconsin High School Esports Association League here. Ornn versus Darius should be the matchup. That's not one where I'm expecting a whole lot of fireworks, at least out of Master Cat on the Ornn. But Darius, we'll see if they're able to get some sort of advantage, maybe bring the Kindred up. But Ornn Sejuani, I'm not really seeing taking out of Darius super early, especially if Darius has Ghost, before level 6 especially. You just don't have all that much CC. But I would be looking at the mid lane. Aurelion Sol, not super mobile. You can put down the event horizon if you are NBK. And that could be a pretty certain kill. Sejuani ganking. So that's sort of where I'm looking at these ganks. Not a very mobile team. For Case, Darius, Asol, Jinx, not very mobile, at least immediately. Obviously, Asol can start flying away, but you've got to take a little time to do that. But neither are the EAHS carries very mobile either. Draven Vagar. So nobody, super relevant in this game has that immediate dash. No way to get out. Nautilus skill shot, Sejuani skill shot, Ornn skill shot on those CC abilities, the ultimates, and the anchor from Nautilus could be quite scary very quickly if you don't have that dash to get out of the way, right? A lot of times, if you have Illusion or something, you can just dash yourself out of the way, get away from the Nautilus hook. Can't do that if you're Jinx, right? So, just getting flashed on flash auto attack, flash ultimate from a lot of these champs could pretty much immediately spell your doom. There is the Kindred ult to keep you alive, so that is a factor that may play into it, and we'll have to wait and see, of course, how effectively these folks are able to land their skill shots. but that often is what it comes down to. But I think neither team has a massive advantage at a champ select for me. Not something that I'm thinking is just going to run away with the game, so I think it will come down to the play on the Rift, which is how it should be, as usual. Looking forward to this one. We're going to take a short break as we get set for this game. We'll be back once we are on to the Rift. Welcome back onto the Rift. Jarl Carl with you as we are going to see an invade. I can't move the champs to the thing, but it doesn't matter. Midwest Milk running through here. They see Wholesome Cherry trying to run for his life. Does he have the E skill? No, he does not. It is the Q leveled up. Midwest Milk not quite able to get anywhere on that. They can't even kill the ward. Wholesome Cherry finding a little bit of damage, but 5 gold for the Darius for spotting out that ward, and no ward now available for the Draven for the immediate future, but the same for the Aurelian Soul on the other side. So, a little bit of vision traded out. I'm a little bit surprised Midwest Milk was not in range for the grab. Maybe they didn't start grab. Let's take a look. They did not start grab. I am very surprised by that. Apprehend. Very strong ability. Honestly, kind of stunned that we did not see them go for that. We'll raise the volume up so y'all can hear a little bit better. That always seems like a good thing, although maybe it looks like you can't hear at all. There we go. We've got some audio now. Nothing wrong with that. Liquid Malice. The jungler here, both junglers going to start on their bot side, so they will receive a little bit of a leash. We'll see if we find them clashing in the top lane in just a couple of minutes. Master Cat, always dangerous to go up against the Darius. The Ghost is on for the Noxian Guillotine wielder. Master Cat says, thank you very much for the grass proc, and a nice sidestep back. Well played there by the Living Forge. Did not quite finish moving those around. There we go. Everybody is matched up. Midwest Milk going to be level 2 first, but missing out yet another Q. You hate to see that. Wholesome Cherry and Weezer in the bot lane. Going to hit that level 2 mark first. I'm surprised to see them not being more aggressive. There's the level 2. Where is the hook, though? Not going to come out. Surprised to see that passive approach by the Nautilus. Usually you see that level 2 advantage being pressed much more firmly. I think that could have certainly been some summoners taken, but maybe we'll see that the next time around. Phantom Shark able to keep themselves safe for a little while longer. Junglers both clearing out at pretty similar speeds. They've finished 3 camps. On to camp number 4. Still waiting for their first encounter. Master Cat says, thank you very much. We'll take that trade. Now going to get traded back on, though. A little bit of HP back, and the bleed is on for them. But Ornn, a lot of base damage. Tanks, it turns out, do a lot of damage. Bonk in the face. Knocks him back. I think he dodged away from that Q as well. So Master Cat doing very well. You could bring the Sejuani up here if you could get her in, but that might be a little bit difficult. Master Cat down a few minions, so forced to back themselves off just a little bit. Take on Weezer. Surprised not to see any of these hooks coming out. You have a Draven, right? That's what you want to do in the early stages, but deciding against it, going for a slower approach, just farming it out a little bit, as is NBK. Here comes Warpo is on a warp. The knockup should come through. Flash from Midwest Milk. The ghost still available. The flash forward by Warpo. Can he find the kill? Can he find the stun? One round attack should be enough. There's the stun. The flash forward. And Master Cat, I should say. It's not Midwest Milk. That's not even the same situation. He's going down. It's Master Cat going up, finding first blood as I fumble the names in the first fight of this game. Both summoners used by Midwest Milk. My champion select prediction going much awry. Both flashes invested by them. Both summoners on the other side for Midwest Milk as Darius. Darius taken down in that level 1. And Ornn, those base damages can be quite scary. Well played there by the Living Forge. Brought the jungler up at the perfect time. I didn't think they had it with the flash, but it turned out that they did. Might see some more action now in the river. Warpo could be in a bit of trouble. They're fighting over the Scuttle Crab. Smite is there, and it's picked up by the jungler for EAHS. But Sejuani taken very low. The red buff slow, allowing a good bit of damage. A soul flying himself in. Not going to find a whole lot on towards the Veigar. NBK throws down the event horizon. And the W. Nice stun. Landing a couple of those. Picking up some passive points. Misses the Q. And I think is going to end up heading back to base to put in some purchases here in the next couple of minutes. Nice hook. Goes down onto Phantom Shark. Stand aside as well. Draven hammering down on this Jinx. But gets rooted up by the Chompers, so we'll be forced to back off for now. Back to the top lane, Midwest Milk trying to trade back, but Master Cat is saying, no, thank you. I am in charge of this one. The Bramble Vest already picked up. Remember, Ornn can forge in the field. That's why he's called the Living Forge. Doesn't need to wait. Bellows Breath, and looking for that knockback auto attack. Not going to find it, though. Master Cat just gets himself out of here. Says, I'll live to fight another day. Throws a rock at him. On the way out, dodging away from the Q. Master Cat has played very, very well so far. EAHS looking quite strong thus far. 300 gold lead, but nothing too major as an airplane flies by the window. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but if you can, that's what it is. It's an airplane. Level 6 now picked up for Midwest Milk. Might be looking to go for a bit of a fight, but he is very, very low. Master Cat says, no thanks, I'll go in, and finds the kill. 2-0 now on the Ornn, leveling up to 6 with the kill. Didn't even need the ult to find that one. The extra damage from the Grasp the Undying. Able to find that kill. Midwest Milk thought he had the advantage. It turned out he had spoiled and was cut down once again. So a nice start for EAHS in this one. Looking pretty good thus far. Nice stand aside, wholesome cherry. Collects that CS. 60 CS at 6 minutes. Look at the gold in the pocket. 1,800 already. Just a huge advantage in the farm. That is a great CS score for this Draven here, who has played a pretty much unhindered lane. Unimpeded, maybe is what I was trying to say. Not too sure. Words are hard. But that Draven coming back to lane with the sheen, the workings of the Essence Reaver, looks very good. NBK still has not gone back to base, which may harm them in the long run. Oops, that's not what we're looking to do. We're back. But for now, forced off. They do have the teleport. They could go back to their mid tower, but nowhere really else to go. We'll TP back with a full mana bar and a lost chapter, but it will be the dragon picked up here by Case after it resets just a little bit. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. A couple of more seconds before that one will get picked up. Master Cat does a lot of damage to Midwest Milk. He might even go for the all-in at some point here if he can get enough damage down. Here it is. Call the Forge God comes out. Midwest Milk trying to find the kill. Oh, he messes up the ultimate, though. Master Cat could be in a bit of trouble. Noxian Guillotine is available. There it is. The shutdown. The Ghost Forward is enough. Midwest Milk keeps himself safe. Master Cat, one mechanical mistake spells their doom. Messing up the ultimate will lead to their death, as I think that Darius is likely now sort of back in this lane. See a couple of fights here. Warpo looking to go for this crab. Up a level on the Kindred. She might not be able to get over the wall. Going to get stunned up by the passive. The ultimate is there. Warpo leaving nothing to chance. Invests that ultimate, that cooldown, and finds the kill on their opposite number. Liquid Malice not even able to flash to get out of that situation. Just cut down. Miss Gribel barely able to escape from that event horizon. The ultimate comes down. NBK forced to flash that. Great summoner usage. Otherwise, that was almost surely a kill. Well played by them, but unfortunate for them that they have to invest that summoner. Able to pick up some of the farm here, though, and I think they'll be okay. It is a Veigar, after all. Looking to scale up for the late game. There's the stun. If that stun lands, you can find the kill. The Q is through. Primordial Burst comes out, and boom! Whiskribel Whisker Bell, not too sure. Able to go down here, take on WIHSEA. Goes for the hook. There it is. Stand aside. Not quite going to land, but Phantom Shark in all sorts of trouble. The ultimate comes out. The flash is enough from the Jinx. Double summoners invested on escaping that play. We look up at the top lane. The Herald has been spawned. Midwest Milk's tower now under so much pressure. I think a little bit early of a Herald spawn. A little bit greedy, I think, to try to go for that so early. You don't really have any way to get the Darius off the tower. And you've taken the easiest plates, but not the hardest plates. And now your bot lane could be in some trouble. Take on WIHSEA. Trying to run some interference. Liquid Malice is here for the Darius. Stand aside is in. The quickness from Rakan, trying to counter that out. Charm on to take on WIHSEA, flash himself away. The flash from Wholesome Cherry has already been invested, and it looks like the bot lane of EAHS will keep himself safe. Master Cat now trying to go for the run. He's calling for his jungler. Warpo is maybe on the way. I thought he was, but it turns out he's actually not. Master Cat forced to flash. Call the Forge God was not available. Take on WIHSEA are going to be taken out by the Super Mega Death Rocket as the bot lane. Not what they were hoping for, but here comes Warpo up to the top lane now. Master Cat tries to go in, doesn't quite find the knockup. Noxian Guillotine is available, and the flash forward from Midwest Milk trying to make a huge play. He's able to find one, finds the reset. Going to get stunned up by the Sejuani, but I think he will find two if they're not careful. Warpo forced to flash away as a misplay in the top lane by EAHS. A couple of over quick, little bit too forced plays in the top lane. First dropping the Herald and going for that play with no Call of the Forge God available. That turned out to be quite the mistake for the top lane of our undefeated tournament leaders. NBK now is saying, hey, my ultimate's up in just a second. If I can survive just a little bit longer, throws in the Q, doesn't even need the ultimate. NBK, he's doing the calculations in his head. That was beautifully done by the Veigar. I think maybe looking for the ultimate, but it turned out didn't even need it. Liquid Malice now, maybe on the prowl though. Doesn't have Veigar marked, so he will not know of the Kindred sneaking in behind the tower. Might be about to see some sort of shenanigans. No flash available on this Kindred, so NBK might have a little bit of warning. Throws that down, and he is able to escape for the moment. Don't get greedy here. Kindred has the ultimate. She can throw that down and then kill you, which is something you want to be very careful of, but he doesn't use it! NBK finds the kill, and dodging out of the Super Mega Death Rocket. Beautifully played by the Veigar. That was very, very nice. The fancy feat as Liquid Malice, not fast enough on the button press, gets cut down a second time. Primordial Burst finding yet another kill. Well played by the EAHS mid laner. Started the game on a bit of a back foot, but it looks like Luden's completed very, very strong on this Veigar. As if I'm really in slow right now, I am afraid Warpo interrupts the flight. The bot lane just doesn't want to come help. Maybe they don't think they need to. Ultimate is available from Warpo. There's the ultimate from Draven, and he'll cash in some of the stacks. That's quite a lot of gold in the pocket of the AD carry for EAHS, but as that happens, I should say the bot lane is picking up several plates. Phantom Shark and Chloe have some good chances here. I don't like this gank, and I'll tell you why after this gank. I don't think this will go super well for them. Ghost is available. Maybe it will. Maybe they have enough CC. All right. I look like quite the fool at this point. Midwest Milk taken down. Master Cat finds that one. Thought he was going to be able to run away from it, but turns out they had enough CC this time around. Anyway, the bot lane, they lose 3 plates. I like that push from Phantom Shark and Chloe. Very, very smart. And right now is when I would be using the Herald. You generally want to use the Herald against an open lane. If there is an opponent there defending that you can't easily push off, it is very difficult to actually shove down the tower, right? If they had the Herald right now, you could break these plates instantly. It charges right now. It kills the tower. You can push, and you can take the second tower. As it is, they have 3 members here. They have to invest a lot of time in getting this tower, and they're going to lose the dragon for it. They might not even actually take the tower. And this is where that Herald on the first couple of plates, are super easy to take, right? They're not building up any resistances. They're not building up any kind of defense. But once you're on, plate number 4, this last plate, that armor and MR is so high, you're not really doing any damage. And so they don't even take the tower. They waste the Herald, and they barely take down, most of the turret. They don't actually get it. And so they're leaving a lot of gold on the table and a lot of time wasted up in the top lane. They give over the second dragon, and I think it's just about giving ways back into the game for your opponents here, right? A few missteps in the top lane is kind of letting Case back into this one. Very strong performance. I'm surprised NBK did not press that forward. I think the ultimate almost kills. At this point, maybe not quite, but Whisker Bell in a lot of trouble. There's the Draven ultimate. The flash, the Primordial Burst is enough. Well played. Good communication. NBK knew that was coming. Flash forward, finds the kill. 4-0 now on this Veigar. Dominating in the mid lane. We'll take a look at the gold very quickly. Yeah, up almost 1,000 gold on his counterpart before we see this gank. One more time. No ultimates this time. This is sort of the gank I don't like. I'm going to say it again. I still don't love it. I think it might be enough over Midwest Milk, who is not super strong. But if we see one more Q come through, yeah, Warpo could be in a lot of trouble. Not going to find the reset, so I think it will just be the one kill. But Midwest Milk finds that. Back to the bot lane. The hook goes down on to Jinx, and she is going to fall. Hook, line, and sinker. Wholesome Cherry finds that one. Chloe gets ulted under the tower, but that will just be one knock-up. Liquid Malice forced to throw down the ultimate. Lamb's Respite to try to keep themselves alive, and they will do so, but nothing else to do. NBK very, very strong, as that was the Draven damage. Finally coming through. Essence Reaver completed. You get a few crits, and you're able to find that. And in the top lane, that was what I was saying the first time around. I think Master Cat might get killed here. We'll have to wait and see just a second. The Q lands. Should be able to keep themselves safe. Jinx Rocket not going to do a whole lot. Flying across the screen in 3, 2. Well, they move the camera. Can't win them all on the prediction on the caster desk here, but ganking that top lane without the ultimates, you don't have enough CC, right? You have enough CC to bring... There's the ultimate in the mid lane. We'll have to hold that thought. NBK in a lot of trouble. That's the shutdown. 700 gold goes over in favor of Whiskerbell on the Aurelion Soul. That's a nice chunk of change for them. But as I was saying in the top lane, if without the ultimates, you have enough damage to get Midwest Milk down to, maybe 20%, as Midwest Milk, who I'm just talking about, might be in a lot of trouble. There's the call of the Forge God. Got to find the timing flashed away from. I think the Darius will be fine. But you have enough damage as in the 2v2 to get him down to half, but not all the way down, and that's what you need, the flash forward from Warpo. Now on a Liquid Malice, no Lamb's Respite. We saw that used in the mid lane, the flash away. Going to get themselves stunned under the tower. Midwest Milk, could he go huge here? He finds himself the heal. He stays alive. The Darius is still alive under the tower, and the Kindred is as well. They're able to force their opponents back. Master Cat maybe trying to go for a bit more. Warpo is here. I think they can dive this tower. There's no Lamb's Respite. I'm sure they know that. The teleport as well. NBK going to teleport up there on the Veigar. They're looking to take that tower and maybe find a little bit more. First tower of the game does fall. Wholesome Cherry, and I stand aside to keep the Rakan out of that one, as the push will continue. Not too sure about the teleport from NBK. The tower was quite low. Don't think it was needed given the low HP on Midwest Milk and Liquid Malice. But better safe than sorry. They will look to take the second Herald of the game and go from there. Pretty much every lane winning thus far for EAHS, just looking like that undefeated team we know that they are. NBK so far has played a fantastic game of Veigar, a champ that just can dominate if you get ahead. The AP stacking is a little ridiculous if you're not careful. Spawning the Herald, again, very quickly by Warpo. I don't really love this spawn again. I think you're not super likely to get a second charge. I would be surprised if they do. And really with the Herald, you want to either take a tower before plates or get at least 2 charges with the second Herald of the game. The Herald usage, I think, not optimal from EAHS, right? It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's hurting them necessarily. It's not why they're going to potentially lose the game, but it is something to kind of take note of. Both Heralds, not optimal usage, and you always give up something, right? The first time they gave away the dragon, gave up a dragon with the first Herald. This time they're just using a little bit of extra time, and they don't have it in their pocket for the next kind of fight. So watch out for sometime in the next 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, where they win a fight or something, they're pushing a lane, they get a gank, and then they could have dropped the Herald, but now they can't because they don't have it. So that's what you sort of want to watch for, is that opportunity cost of using it in the first place. Dragon up in 25 seconds. Both teams bringing most of their members. Midwest Milk is down here. Master Cat is not yet. NBK, got to get yourself out of that situation in a rather rapid fashion. Nice Q over the wall. Liquid Malice takes some big damage. That ward on the backside is doing a lot of work, and the Living Forge is now here. Call of the Forge God is available, as we are about to see what looks to be our first 5v5 of the game. Call of the Forge God comes out. We are not going to wait for anything. Knock up in the air. Liquid Malice takes a lot of damage, but a great Aurelion Soul ultimate. 5 members going to get stunned up. Wholesome Cherry forced to flash away. Lamb's Respite is keeping everybody alive for now, so no deaths just yet. Chloe going to be the first casualty, but the Sejuani will go down as well. Primordial burst across the back to get one back, but Wholesome Cherry and MBK are running for their lives. Midwest Milk going to get stopped for the moment, but I don't think they will be deterred for too long. There is the 4th kill in the fight as Case fighting back valiantly in this one. Wholesome Cherry, the only member left alive for EAHS, as that is the 3rd dragon of the game, as a huge swing back in favor of our team on the red side. The 5-2 challengers trying to take EAHS down a peg and match them at 6 wins. An incredible fight a little bit forced again by EAHS. That is the thing that I'm noticing thus far. May be their biggest weakness is forcing things. And the two Heralds trying to force there in that fight immediately. There's no real reason to do that, right? You have this huge front line. You have the poke from behind. I don't like this teleport either. I don't think there's any real reason to get up there any faster. Just play the game a little bit slower if you are EAHS. It's very, very forced. At this point, with those two Heralds, you have, a perfectly fed Vigar who is ready to just throw in some poke, and instead you dive into the fight. The Aurelion Soul had empowered ultimate, and you're basically cut down immediately from that one. I think unfortunate to see, given how far ahead they were. You definitely want to contest that dragon, but you don't need to go all hands on deck for it. Wholesome Cherry going to get knocked up, but obviously will be fine. And so I think that dragon fight sort of just shows why you have this giant front line. You want to just sit and throw down some poke, let Draven get an auto, let the Vagar throw in a couple of not auto attacks, but throw in some Qs, wait for an Event Horizon to land. You don't need to go super quickly because there's not a ton of dive on the other side. It's not a Malphite that is going to mess you up. Master Cat down a level, but is able to find the knockups, find some grass procs as well. Bellow's Breath there, but Liquid Malice is here. A flash from Master Cat, but the flash of the tower, Midwest Milk, just slams the hammer down onto Master Cat as the Ornn goes down, as it really feels like Case is starting to take over this game. Death Rocket not going to do a whole lot. Teleport up from NBK to try to save this tower. Potentially worth it. They will be able to save it, but maybe you're just going to lose the mid tower in response. Wholesome Cherry still fighting bot lane, taking a lot of damage whilst doing so. Phantom Shark not messing around. I would love to see this bot lane rotated around towards the mid lane. It's 20 minutes in the game, and we do still have the bot lane there. Chloe jumping in on a Wholesome Cherry. Takes a lot of damage, but so will Chloe, taken down immediately. The Rakan a bit too aggressive. Wholesome Cherry, we'll see if they want to follow through. Phantom Shark trying to kite this one out. Jumping forward is the Draven, but they do trade back and forth. I think that's a little bit better for the Jinx. She's able to pick up the shutdown, 450 gold, so 750 total off of her, as that is quite off of him, I should say. That's a lot of gold going over to Jinx, who has got to be the main carry in this one. Midwest Milk maybe going to go down to the Primordial Burst. Not quite. Does have that magic resist. Without the boots, that is a kill. Instead, everybody gets themselves out to safety for now, as we'll reset a little bit. But soul point for Case, and I think they are honestly doing better in this game so far. They have the fed Jinx. They have the fed Darius. They're looking like they are a little bit sharper in coordination. Looking good thus far. Fight now on to Phantom Shark. Got to keep themselves safe, and they will not be able to do so. Warpo finds that one. Liquid Malice throws down the Lamb's Wrist, but it's not going to be a lot. It is just a rest, but the fail flash over the wall. Maybe actually going to be able to survive. One more auto should be enough. Warpo able to find that. The flashes had to be invested by both junglers, as the two carries just get caught out for Case. Midwest Milk now trying to go up against his compatriot in the top lane. Not able to find a whole lot just immediately. But Phantom Shark, very out of position in the river there. Just kind of wanders and gets caught. Against this kind of team, you cannot be alone at this point in the game. They will pick you off. They have so many tools to do so. Dragon still 41 seconds away, though, so the Jinx will be back. Everybody will be back for that. I would be a little surprised if we did not see a fight over this dragon, but of course I could be wrong. Setting up the bush bait. Ornn has teleport, but is not here. Take on WIHSEA. The Nautilus also not quite here just yet. I'm surprised to see the them give away the dragon, if that is in fact what they are doing. It looks like they are not. They will just come back around as they are getting collapsed on. Actually, Ornn is just not here. Take on WIHSEA trying to run interference. NBK in the front line. Warpo here as well. A little bit of a split fight. Wholesome Cherry now throws in the ultimate, but Phantom Shark finds the first kill and is going to be able to get excited. Warpo taken down. That's 2 kills now for the Jinx. Call of the Forge God is here as the Ornn has arrived. Phantom Shark gets knocked up in the air. NBK still alive. Wholesome Cherry finds another one. Can the Veigar keep himself safe? Midwest Milk throws himself in for the Q and the big kill. Can he get the reset? Oh, not quite able to reset, but he will get the kill onto that Veigar. Wholesome Cherry now finds that auto attack. Can he find one more? Onto the Jinx. Is he in range? Oh, she stops to cast the ultimate. What a mistake. Not able to do so. The auto attack's coming through. Wholesome Cherry, the quadra kill. But he is going to get taken down by that black hole field of Aurelion Sol. 5 for 4, as it is EAHS technically winning the fight. But nobody really left alive to do this dragon. I think Master Cat probably could start it. He has teammates coming sooner. Warpo and Weezer would be there with the smite. I'm a little bit surprised not to see that. But instead, going to toss himself an item and try to heal a little bit. I think you actually just recall if you're not going to do the dragon. But in the end, a reasonably inconclusive fight. Phantom Shark did quite well early on, but then Wholesome Cherry just crushing damage. The Draven Axes, they do so much. And we saw Midwest Milk. I think if he's able to get the kill onto NBK with that ultimate, I'm very surprised it did not kill. I'm not really sure how that happened. That would have been a different fight. He would have had the reset for the ultimate for Warpo. But now it is Liquid Malice. Going to get caught out. Knocked up into the air. Can they throw the ultimate down? Yes, they can. Aurelion Sol only going to hit a couple. Weezer and Malice are there, but Jinx is able to find the first reset. Sejuani ult comes out. Midwest Milk going to be taken down. Can't reset, but Jinx has the rockets in the back. Finds a second kill. NBK could be in all sorts of trouble. The rockets are coming through. Jinx doing so much damage and still alive in the back. It's just Wholesome Cherry finds a couple of kills. Double kill now. Chloe going to get cut down. Onto the dragon is Phantom Shark. Will it be in time? No, it will not. Wholesome Cherry, the only one left to fight. It is the 280 carries. Nothing you can do about that. Phantom Shark not able to find that as another very close fight. This one goes again in favor of EAHS via the low HP and the kill onto the dragon, but incredibly, incredibly close. Who can get to the carries in the backline first? It's this Jinx versus the Draven, and NBK and Liquid Malice also running some interference with the Asol ultimate. Well played by both these teams. This is an extremely competitive game. Gold lead still for EAHS, but nothing insurmountable, right? Very, very close. Only 4,000 gold at 26 minutes. Nothing too crazy. We may just have to wait for that next dragon. What will be the next breaking point? Baron now very much takeable by the teams at this point. No death cap yet for NBK. I think that's the point where we'll see them really starting to hit a little bit harder, as it is the 5 members strong in the mid lane for EAHS. Whiskerable running himself out to safety. Weezer got to be a little bit careful, but Malice takes 45% of their HP from a single Q of Veigar. Remember, this champion hits like a truck, especially if you're squishy. So you've got to be careful. Mid lane tower likely to fall here, but maybe it is the peel off towards Baron. You want to get Baron control here, then maybe start to bait that out. Phantom Shark could be a target. Wholesome Cherry, you've got to be careful. They see the ward. Wholesome Cherry, no flash. Midwest Milk does have flash, so you could find yourself caught out. Oh, but a huge event horizon over the wall. Chloe almost taken down. Call the Forge God is out. The Rakan very, very low. The ultimate just to try to buy a little bit of time on the backside, but here comes the Draven in the middle of the fight. Oh, but Phantom Shark left untouched. Can he find the kill on the Draven? Yes, he can, but gets shut down in return, as it should be the blue team picking up this one. EAHS just very far ahead via that event horizon. NBK, the huge hero of that fight, able to put that down, find the double stun, and take Chloe and Whiskerbill pretty much out of it from the start. That left Phantom Shark with a lot less distraction. Wasn't quite able to find the kills that he needed, and it should be Baron going over for EAHS, one step closer to ending this game out. This is a very slow Baron without the Draven, but they will take it nonetheless. No real competition for it. They don't wait for Wholesome Cherry. A little bit tough if you're the AD carry, but you don't want to get that stolen away by a Jinx rocket since she spawns a little bit sooner. So give that over. He didn't want it anyway. They're able to find themselves the reset, spend some of that gold, and group up for the next push. Hopefully, in their minds, the final push of the game. Now up 6,000 gold. looking very, very strong. Keep your eyes on the 280 carries in these fights, right? The things to watch for. The 280 carries, are they safe? Are they going down? Is Midwest Milk able to find a couple of resets, somehow get themselves into the back line? And what is NBK doing, right? If they find a great stun, that could be huge for them. Those are kind of the things to watch for. The fights sort of playing out like we talked about in Champ Select. The Orin, the Sejuani, the Nautilus just running interference. Double Thornmail for them on EAHS. NBK still looking. Just poking and prodding, asking questions. You are pretty safe. Again, it's not a Mel fight. There's no real way to get hard engaged on instantly. So you can sort of afford to make these plays as NBK. There's the damage that we're talking about. Malice taken down so low. The push in the bot lane comes through. Wholesome Cherry looking to shove onto this one, but they could be in a bit of trouble. Wholesome Cherry is a little bit out of position. Throws the ultimate down. Should be able to keep themselves safe. The ultimate comes in from the Aurelion Soul, but NBK has other plans. The Kindred already taken out. Warpo running interference. NBK gets himself out, down to about 40% HP. One Super Mega Death Rocket could find the kill. Master Cat, meanwhile, will take down the mid lane inhibitor tower as they back themselves away. In that lane, Wholesome Cherry, a nice stand aside. Oh, what an axe! Finding the kill onto Chloe. EAHS looking dominant now in this phase of the game. They just have a couple too many damage dealers. One too many damage dealers, I dare say. NBK and Wholesome Cherry, very hard to take down on the other side. The ultimate from Whiskerbell just not quite doing enough. You can't kill an entire enemy team with that, especially when they have Flash, right? Wholesome Cherry just able to get out of that, and it's hard to kill two with one spell. Therefore, it is difficult for them to get through this front line, right? There's no real way to get to this Draven if Draven's standing way in the back. Dragon will now be started up. I imagine either a reset or just a continued push will be the plan. Baron is on, I believe, for another 30 seconds. They may look to have a push in the mid lane, or they might throw in the towel for now and go back to base. Looks like that will be the choice. They'll go for a bit of a reset and then probably regroup and shove in the mid lane. At this point, you just want to take down the inhibitors if you can. That is basically the plan. Other than that, find a pick, find a kill. They see Liquid Malice. That could be an interesting play. Surprised to see NBK go bot lane right now. I think you can just group up, but maybe they just want to go their separate ways, get a 1-4 going on. I don't think you need to, given how far ahead you are. But there's probably nothing wrong with it either. Draven ult gets a bit of chip damage onto Phantom Shark. Midwest Milk, in hot pursuit of Master Cat, gets himself out. Wholesome Cherry, you want to be careful, but you also do a ton of damage. So, you know. Ooh, Wholesome Cherry looked for a little bit. Phantom Shark gets a good bit of damage down. Wholesome Cherry down to half HP, but a lot of lifesteal. Just needs to hit something. These couple of creeps, I think, would have been enough. Instead, maybe off to grab the red buff. If that is up, they will be full health the next time you see them. Call of the Forge God comes out. Going to interrupt the recall. Darius maybe in a bit of trouble. Wholesome Cherry is here, but Phantom Shark doing so much damage. WIHSEA forced to flash himself away. Is this going to be the kill on to the Nautilus? The fight will continue. 4 versus 5 at this point. Wholesome Cherry gets stunned up by the Aurelion Soul. Walks too far forward. There's the ultimate across the back. Midwest Milk in hot pursuit of Wholesome Cherry. If the stand aside is there, it could be enough. One more auto attack. Oh, he's not able to find the kill. Wholesome Cherry able to secure that one for themselves. The recall going to get interrupted. Phantom Shark maybe was in the shop, didn't see what was happening, gets picked up. Master Cat going forward onto Whiskerbell, flashing himself away. Liquid Malice is here, trying to find the damage down onto Master Cat, barely able to find the kill before that ultimate goes down. Warpo trying to delay things just a little bit longer, but it is NBK in the top lane. We didn't even mention him. We didn't mention onto the Nexus. Can he get taken down? Chloe throws the quickness in. The Event Horizon is there. The flash. NBK onto the Nexus. It's going to be a through the front door base end. The Nexus goes down. NBK finds the kill. EAHS are your winners here in week number 8 as they go undefeated in the league, 7-0. What a game. Well played all around. Transition here in the scenes. Fantastic fighting game. In the end, it was just a little bit too strong to have these two hyper carries. 32,000 damage, 30,000 damage. That turned out to be the, straw that broke the camel's back, as I believe they say. Well played there by EAHS. They improve to 7-0. Case, unfortunately, fall to 5-3. Both these teams will be around in playoffs, and I would love to see a series between these teams. I think if you're playing against EAHS, the thing to do is kind of try to punish the aggressiveness, right? They're playing very aggressive. They're forcing things very quickly, and that is the way you can fight back, I think, against this team. That's my current thinking, at least, just off of this game. But EAHS look very good. So that is all we have for you today, just this best of one. We will have playoffs starting next week here on the Wisconsin High School Esports Association League of Legends Varsity League. It will be 2 weeks of playoffs, and then June 3rd, our finals at Carthage College. Until then, this has been your Carl. On behalf of myself and everybody else here at the Wisconsin High School Esports Association, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.